So you want to turn your regular TV into a smart entertainment powerhouse, but you're staring at like 100 different Android TV boxes wondering which one isn't going to be a complete waste of money. Yeah, I've been there. I've tested way too many of these things, and honestly, most of them are either laggy garbage or they brick themselves after a software update. But don't worry, I've narrowed it down to the 5 that actually deliver. I've dropped updated links with the best pricing in the description below. Let's get into it. Alright, kicking things off at number 5, we've got the RT GX1/X96 Android TV Box. And look, this is your budget-friendly entry point into the Android TV world. If you're someone who's never used one of these before and you're not ready to drop serious cash without knowing if you'll even like it, this is actually a pretty decent starting place. The interface is clean enough, it runs Android TV without too many hiccups, and for basic streaming on Netflix, YouTube, or Disney+, it gets the job done. Now let's be real about what you're getting here. This isn't gonna blow your mind with performance. You'll notice some lag when you're switching between apps or scrolling through menus. It's not terrible, but it's there. The 4K upscaling works okay for the price point, though you can definitely tell the difference if you're used to higher-end boxes. Where this thing actually surprised me is the connectivity options. You've got multiple USB ports, Ethernet, and the Wi-Fi is stable enough for streaming without constant buffering issues. The remote is super basic, but hey, it works. Price-wise, you're looking at somewhere between $30 to $50 depending on the seller and if you catch any deals. And honestly, for that price range, it's hard to complain too much. This is perfect if you're setting up a secondary TV in a bedroom or guest room, or if you're just testing the waters before committing to something more expensive. Just don't expect it to handle heavy gaming or anything too demanding. It's a solid budget box that knows its lane and stays in it. Coming in at number 4 is the Amazon Fire TV Cube 4K. And this is where things start getting interesting because Amazon really packed some features into this thing. First off, the hands-free Alexa integration is genuinely useful. Like, way more useful than I thought it would be. You can control your entire entertainment setup with voice commands, dim the lights if you've got smart bulbs, check the weather, all that stuff without touching a remote. And the processing power here is noticeably better than your standard Fire Stick. What really sets the Cube apart is how it acts as a smart home hub. If you're already in the Amazon ecosystem with Echo devices or smart home gadgets, this thing becomes the center of everything. The 4K streaming quality is excellent. HDR looks great, and it handles Dolby Atmos without any issues. App loading is snappy, multitasking doesn't bog it down, and the interface is pretty intuitive once you get used to Amazon's layout. My main gripe though, the interface is heavily Amazon-focused. They really want you buying or renting stuff through their store, and sometimes finding your other streaming apps takes an extra click or two. The price hovers around $110 to $140 depending on sales, and Amazon runs promotions on this pretty regularly, especially during Prime Day or Black Friday. Here's my take. If you're already using Amazon services and you like the convenience of voice control, this is absolutely worth it. But if you're not in that ecosystem or you find Amazon's interface annoying, you might want to look at other options. It's powerful hardware with some software quirks, basically. Now we're at number 3 with the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro 8GB model. And okay, this is where we're getting into serious enthusiast territory. This isn't just an Android TV box. It's basically a mini entertainment computer that happens to stream TV. The 8GB of RAM makes a huge difference if you're someone who loads up a ton of apps, runs a Plex server, or does any kind of gaming through GeForce NOW. The performance is buttery smooth, like noticeably faster than almost anything else on the market. What I really love about this version is the storage flexibility and the extra power for multitasking. You can have multiple 4K streams running, store way more apps and games without worrying about space, and the AI upscaling is honestly incredible. It takes regular HD content and makes it look surprisingly close to native 4K. The remote is also way better than the standard Shield remote, with customizable buttons and a rechargeable battery. Plus, if you're into retro gaming or emulation, this thing handles it like a champ. The processing power means you can run pretty demanding emulators without slowdown. Here's where it gets tricky though. This model runs between $280 to $320, and that's a significant investment for a streaming box. You really need to ask yourself if you need that extra RAM and those premium features. If you're running a Plex server doing serious gaming, or you're just a tech enthusiast who wants the absolute best performance, then yeah, this is worth every penny. But if you're just streaming Netflix and YouTube, you might be paying for power you'll never actually use. At number 2, we've got the standard NVIDIA Shield TV Pro. And honestly, for most people, this is the sweet spot in the Shield lineup. You're getting that same incredible NVIDIA performance and AI upscaling, the excellent remote, all the gaming capabilities, and support for basically every streaming format you can think of. The difference between this and the 8GB model? You've got less RAM and storage, but for 95% of users, you're never gonna hit those limitations. The Shield TV Pro absolutely crushes streaming quality. We're talking Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, 4K HDR at 60 frames per second. All of it runs flawlessly. The Tegra X1 Plus processor is the same beast that powers the 8GB version, so you're getting that same snappy performance when switching apps or navigating menus. And the AI upscaling genuinely makes older content look better. I've tested it side by side with other boxes, and the difference is noticeable. Plus, you can use it as a SmartThings hub, run a Plex server for your home network, and it gets regular software updates that actually improve things instead of breaking them. Price-wise, you're looking at around $180 to $220, which is still premium territory but significantly cheaper than the 8GB model. And here's the thing. Unless you're specifically doing something that needs that extra RAM, you won't notice the difference in day-to-day use. This is the one I recommend to most people who want the absolute best streaming experience without going completely overboard. It's future-proofed, powerful, and it's built like a tank. NVIDIA supports these things for years with updates too, so you're not buying something that'll be obsolete in 18 months. And finally, landing at number 1, we've got the standard NVIDIA Shield TV. And yeah, this is the one I keep coming back to. Now you might be thinking, wait, isn't this the cheaper, less powerful version? And you're right, it is. But here's why it's number 1 for me. It gives you like 90% of the Shield Pro experience at a significantly lower price point. And for most people's actual use cases, that's all you need. The tube design is compact. It's got the same AI upscaling technology, the same great app support, and the streaming quality is identical. Let's talk about what you're actually getting. The performance is still excellent. Apps load fast, 4K streaming is smooth. Dolby Vision and Atmos both work perfectly. The AI upscaling makes your regular HD content look way better than it should. You can still do GeForce NOW gaming, though maybe not as many simultaneous streams or heavy multitasking as the Pro models. The remote is solid. The interface is clean Android TV without bloatware, and it just works consistently, every single time. No weird crashes, no random reboots, no apps that suddenly stop working after an update. It's reliable in a way that budget boxes just aren't. The price sits around $150 to $180, and that's where the value proposition really shines. You're getting NVIDIA's premium technology and build quality without paying the full Pro premium. Is it the absolute best performer on this list? No, but it's the best bang for your buck. And for someone who just wants amazing streaming quality, great upscaling, and the option to do some casual gaming, this is perfect. Unless you specifically need to run a Plex server or you're doing serious emulation gaming, this is the Shield to get. It's powerful enough to handle anything you throw at it. It'll last for years, and you're not paying for features you'll never use.